Hey, what's going on, DDO players? Axel here. So, today we're going to talk about everyone's favorite thing to do in DDO, and that's obviously inventory management and dealing with how to fit all of your stuff into the available space you have in the game. And I hope this video is probably going to be more helpful for new players, but maybe for some of you vets as well, you might get a few things out of it. So let's just dive into it. So inventory in DDO is not like a lot of other games. In DDO, the inventory you have to store items and cosmetics and gear and potions and all that stuff, it's limited. And in DDO, especially when you get to the end game and you've really played the game for a while, you start to realize that even if you take advantage of all the space you can get, you just can't keep everything. You gotta get rid of stuff. There are some ways that you can keep more stuff and some things you can do to kind of get around it, and we'll go into those in a minute. But bottom line is DDO isn't a game that has been designed to let you keep everything. It's just not designed that way. And while the developers do continue to give us more space from time to time, I don't think we're ever going to reach a point where the veteran players really feel like they have enough space. We all want unlimited space, but that's just not going to happen. From what I've read, there's just system limitations and things to that, and performance reasons for that, and everything. But let's go ahead and go through, and I have like 10 or 11 tips I've kind of jotted down here that I think can help people a little bit. So a lot of these are well known, but some of these are not as known by especially not known by new players. So first thing you can do is, if you want to get more inventory space, probably the best way to do that is to create what is known in the community as mule characters, which is a character that just exists to basically be extra inventory space. So each character is given a certain amount of inventory. Even if you just straight out of Korthos at level 1, you have, I think, 20 inventory spaces and I think 20 bank spaces as well. So if you have, say, 10 character slots, even if you only play one character, you can create up to 9 other characters and have them exist only to carry inventory. And there's a couple ways you can get inventory items from your main character to your alt characters, or what we call mule characters. Is you can either mail them, although that's not really practical because you have to do it one by one. So unless if you have a lot of stuff you want to transfer, which is probably why you're doing this in the first place, you need the shared bank, which is something you get with VIP, but if you're a premium player, you can buy it from the DDO store, and that gives you basically a tab in game where you can transfer stuff from your main character to alt characters. Now, the one caveat to this, of course, is that you can't transfer bound to character stuff. So that's basically raid loot and some other stuff as well, but basically raid loot and a lot of really good items as well are bound to characters. So this only helps you with items that are unbound or that are bound to account. But luckily, that's a lot of items in the game. So having a shared bank and transferring stuff to mules is a really helpful way to get more inventory space and deal with the restrictions that the game has on inventory storage. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, buy or unlock more storage. There are ways to unlock more storage in game, and there are bank in particular. Additional bank space, you can unlock it for free by getting house contract favor. You can get up to 40 more bank spaces, I believe it is, and by running those house contract favor quests. So definitely do that if you're a new player and you want more storage. That will instantly I think triple your bank space if you go ahead and do those quests. You can also buy additional stuff from the DDO store. So you can buy more bank space, you can buy more shared bank space, you can buy more crafting storage space, you can buy more character slots so you can make more mules if you want to do that. So those are some options you have from the DDO store. The next tip number 3 is use bags. So there's a lot of bags in game. There's gem bags, there's ingredient bags, there's augment bags. So in collectibles bags, you want to use all of these different types of bags in your inventory because they just save you a massive amount of space. Especially with augment bags and ingredients bags. Now these bags are available. Certain bags are available for free, or you can earn them in game. Others you have to buy. The biggest ones in the game, for the most part, are things you need to purchase. And if you want to spend your DDO points on something, I'll tell you that buying like a colossal ingredients bag is a very, very good use of your DDO points. If you're going to be playing this game long term, it really helps with storage. A lot of things go into ingredient bags and augment bags as well. And actually, some tiers of the new Sharn expansion actually include a dimensional augment bag, which is a really big augment bag to carry a lot of augments. So it also carries your filigree as well. So that's an option if you want. But I don't normally advocate buying like a ton of stuff from the store. But this is in this case, it's a really, really good option to spend your points. Convenience is great when you can buy it. So I would consider buying a large capacity store bag, although again, there are a lot of bags you can get in game. So if you don't really feel like you need the best one, then maybe go with the ones you can earn in game. Tip number 4, or I think we're on 4, your cosmetic slots on your character. If you do have cosmetics, those do take up storage space, but if you do have cosmetics, you can at least store some on your character's UI on the cosmetic space tabs, and you can turn them off. So you can actually put them on and turn them off. Now, I think by default when you log in, they will be on, so you have to click off every time. But if you have some cosmetics you don't want to get rid of and you don't really have space, you can store a couple of them there. So that's one thing you can do. Bolts and arrows is going to be pretty obvious, but maybe not if you're a new player. But for you new players, make sure you get a quiver to carry bolts and arrows. If you are playing a ranged character like a ranger or artificer or something, make sure you do get a quiver and use it, because it can store bolts. And I think through House D favor, House Deneth, you can earn some more favor to get better quivers and stuff. And there's also a lot of really good quivers available in game. Okay, next tip. Crunch named items into sentient gems if you have a bunch of named items that you aren't going to use. You don't have to just throw everything away. And many named items are eligible to be crunched into your sentient weapons. So that's definitely a great use for any item any named item you collect that you want to get rid of that you aren't planning to use. And there are restrictions, as I said. These have to be named items. You can't just crunch any item into a sentient gem. But this is a really good use for your items if you want to kind of get rid of them and free up some inventory space. Okay, next. If you have stuff you want to get rid of, free up space, a good way to kind of do that is put stuff on Astral Shard House to earn shards. So I know this tip and the one before it aren't really tips to help you get more space, but these are good uses for extra items you might have, and a way for you to turn these items that are just clogging your storage into something more useful. So if you collect anything that's not bound to character or bound to account, you can put on the auction house and sell for shards. And there's a lot of really good items, a lot of really good, if you get a rare filigree that everyone wants, you can earn a lot of shards this way. And a lot of people earn a lot of shards this way. So that's a great way to earn shards. And shards are really useful in game. There's a lot of really good uses for them. So this is a good way to get them without having to go to the DDO store and buy them. Okay, one really good workaround, if you're just a pack rat and you have so much stuff that you just can't bear to get rid of it, you really should try not to be a pack rat. I'm guilty of this too. I have pack rat instincts as well. But if you really just don't want to get rid of your stuff, you don't want to deal with inventory management, one thing you can do is you can heroic true and reincarnate. And when you do that, it gets all of your inventory and puts it into a reincarnation cache. Now, this cache there's not as far as I'm aware, there's not a limit bigger than what your character can actually carry in terms of items. So all the items you're carrying are going to go into a reincarnation cache when you TR, and they're going to be accessible through the in-game banker to get your items back. Now, keep in mind that there are a couple of restrictions for the reincarnation cache. You can only take items out, so once you've taken an item out, you cannot put it back in. And if you want to TR again, you have to empty your entire reincarnation cache before the game will let you TR again. That way you can't just build up an endless amount of space in your reincarnation cache. So that's something you can do if you really don't want to get rid of items. You can just heroic reincarnate. It will put your character back to 1, obviously, but you do get a past life out of it, of course. But it's something you can do to get more storage space if you want. Now, keep in mind that this is only true for certain reincarnations. So, for example, epic reincarnations and lesser reincarnations, they don't involve a cache, so you can actually do those without emptying your cache. And also, when you lesser reincarnate or epic reincarnate, it will not put your items into that cache. So don't epic reincarnate thinking that you're going to get a cache created. That doesn't happen. And I saw someone actually on the forums this week accidentally do that. So keep that in mind. Some other things you can do with extra items: you can give stuff away to guildies. If there's really useful things that you see in chests and you just are crammed with inventory restrictions, don't pick it up. Give it to someone else. And then obviously the last option to free up inventory space is to sell it or to throw it away. So that's probably the last option that people want, but hey, at least you get something out of it. You get a little plat. I mean, sell it on the shard exchange if it's something nice that's not bound to a counter character that other people might want. I mean, even if you only get one or 2 shards out of it, at least that's something. It's a lot better than plat, which plat doesn't have very much value in game compared to shards. So a couple more things. Consider not picking up junk loot from chests as you go through chests. I mean, there's so much junk loot that accumulates in your inventory. Your inventory can fill up really quick if you just hit the loot all button for every chest. Don't do that. By all means, if you're a new player, you probably do need to pick up junk loot so you can sell it and get platinum, because you probably don't have very much as a new player and you really need to build up platinum. But or if you're just a veteran player who for whatever reason doesn't have any platinum, or is very low in platinum, you need to accumulate it, then by all means do that. But if you're a veteran player who, like many of us, who only use platinum really to buy stuff from like vendors like potions or scrolls or whatever, you probably have a ton of platinum. If you're sitting there with over 1 million plat, you really don't need to bother picking up junk loot. It's just not worth your time. Just instead of having to do that and having it clog up your inventory, having to deal with that frustration of going to a vendor and reselling all the time, just pick up the gems and the raw platinum that drops in chests. I mean, that's plenty. I've been doing that for years, and that way I don't ever have to worry about junk loot clogging my inventory. I don't have to worry about the hassle of running to a vendor and selling it. But at the same time, just in the gems and the raw loot that I pick up, you can easily, I'm still gaining a lot of platinum. So unless you're really burning through platinum, I just wouldn't bother with it. It's just not worth it, and it's just going to clog up your inventory to pick up junk loot from chests. Now, again, if you're a new player, that probably doesn't apply, but for veteran players, it probably does. And from time to time, on to the next tip here, if you need to look at your inventory every once in a while, and I'm bad at doing this too, look at stuff, and if stuff hasn't, if you see an item that you haven't touched in a year, just get rid of it, because your odds are if you haven't used it in a year, you're probably never going to use it again. And I know it sucks. It's really heartbreaking to crunch or to sell an item that you ran like 5 years ago, that you ran a raid 40 times to get. I know it sucks, but it is what it is. That time has passed. That item's usefulness is gone. You may as well just crunch it to get what you can out of it or sell it. Because all it's doing is sitting in inventory. It's not going to suddenly be useful again one day. If you haven't used it in a year, you're not going to use it, so get rid of it. Another thing I see a lot of players doing is they pick up gear in raids. And I've done this too from time to time. I'm not perfect. But they pick up gear in raids or in quests, named gear that they think they might use later, or they might use in another life. Like you might pick up a set of monk wraps that dropped in the chest that are a really nice set of monk wraps, because while you're playing your great sword using fighter or whatever, or your great axe using barbarian, whatever, right now you're like, man, I think next life I might run a monk, so I'm going to pick these up because I might use them. I think 99% of the time that just doesn't happen. Now, I mean, by all means, if you have a reincarnation plan and you know for sure you're going to do that, then by all means. But for people who might think they might use an item, just don't pick it up. Give it to someone who's going to. It's just nicer to give it to someone, especially if it's a really nice, say it's a really nice set of wraps, give it to the monk who's running a monk now. Like, let him use that item now, because even if you are going to maybe run a monk later, maybe it won't be for another year. Maybe by then there's going to be another set of wraps that are out that are even better that you want to use instead, and you wouldn't end up using that set of wraps anyway. So just don't pick up things that you might use. It's just a bad habit, and it just leads to a lot of useless pack ratting, I guess I'll call it. Just it results in a lot of clutter. Just don't do that. I know it's a natural urge to do that and to accumulate stuff because it's good, and you don't want to just give away this great set of monk wraps that dropped for you, but just don't do that. Just fight that urge. Okay, next tip here, don't bother min-maxing for heroic TRs or even epic TRs. I mean, this stuff, especially heroics, now I know it's changed a little bit with Reaper in the past year or two, but for the most part, heroics especially it's not hard to level. It's not hard to level at all in this game. I mean, you can run stuff on normal and level just fine. So if your main focus is just leveling and gaining experience points, you really don't need to min-max at level 5 or whatever. The content is not so hard in heroics that you need to really min-max. For me, I think min-maxing is a thing you really want to do at cap when you want to stay at cap and run raids and run at cap content for the kind of rewards that people would go for at cap, or to try to really push yourself and run stuff on as high of a Reaper level as your group can manage. That's when you want to min-max. But if you're just running Deliras for the 1000th time, do you really need to min-max your character for those quests? No, you really don't. Don't worry about it. Just pick stuff up as you level. Buy things with platinum as you level, because again, you probably have millions of that, and like level 5 gear that's on the auction house that's decent. So like a decent strength item or a decent wisdom item, that stuff's cheap. So don't worry about min-maxing at each and every level. As you level, you'll be fine. You don't need to be perfect as you're leveling up. It just clogs up a lot of inventory space. Now, by all means, definitely for your TRs, you need to have the really good items that really help you. So things like your green steel weapons, for example, maybe you have a sword of shadow, things like that. By all means, you have like a really good caster stick or something that you want to use. By all means, like, you have amazing gear. Of course you want to use that, and I'm not talking about that. But you don't need to have amazing gear for every. You don't need to have amazing gear for every single little slot. You don't need to min-max that much. I mean, min-max a little bit by having good twink gear for your TRs and epic TRs, but you don't need to have twink gear in every single slot. Just have the essential things that you need to get your character through the content. So if you don't min-max for every level and you just pick things up, that's going to save tons of inventory space, tons of bank space. So consider doing that. And I think one other thing I mentioned with mules, so with characters that you have just for sword space, keep an Excel spreadsheet if you need to. You probably need to, just to keep track of who has what. So make an Excel spreadsheet, make a tab for each character, and then just type on that spreadsheet the items that character is holding currently. Because unfortunately in game, in DDO, there is no account-wide inventory search. So you can't search and see who has your green steel boots right now. Well, actually those are bound to character, but no one is, I think those are bound to character. But anyways, let's just think of some other bound to account item, just any random bound to account item. If you try to search for it, you can't search for it account wide. You can't, there's no way to figure that out unless you've actually found it on that character, or if you've written it down somewhere like in an Excel spreadsheet, where you can actually find that item on the spreadsheet and know where it is. So, and maybe you don't need to do that for every single item, but for your essential items or for your important items, maybe just make a spreadsheet and write those down in terms of what character has what. It is worth your time. I don't do it, but I know for a lot of people who TR a lot, have to deal with that all the time, it is useful. I know, so consider doing that if it's going to help you out. And every once in a while, I think this is going to be the last tip I have written down here. Set aside some time, game time every once in a while, just to do your spring cleaning of your inventory, so you can just go through everything and throw it out. I do this from time to time. Again, I'm not perfect at doing this. A lot of times I don't do it, and right now, actually, in my inventory, I really badly need to do this. But every once in a while, just spend some time. Be like, okay, today, instead of playing for 3 hours, I'm going to spend 1 hour on inventory management, and then I'll play for 2 hours. So just spend an hour, go through all your stuff, look at all your items, throw stuff away that you don't need anymore, sell stuff you don't need, crunch stuff you don't need, send stuff to Mules if you think you'll need it later, write stuff down on your spreadsheet, your Mule spreadsheet if you need to. Just go through and just clean stuff out, because I'll tell you that if you actually do that and you spend an hour doing that and you clear up all this inventory space, it feels amazing. Like, to run a character and to have just 4 open tabs on your character of open inventory, it just feels so good. It's awesome. It's worth your time. So consider doing that. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Hope these tips helped you. Let me know if they did. Would be interesting in reading your comments below. That's going to be it for today. I will see you all next time. Have a good one and take care.